It's Debatable with Mark Gray here on MLBbros.com.
Hey, folks, it's Debatable where we give it to you straight, no chaser. I'm the MLB OG, Mark Gray. That is my trusty sidekick, Manny Ramirez Brown. And we got plenty to get to, Manny, but we'd be remiss if we didn't offer up our condolences to the folks in Texas who are dealing with a senseless, unnecessary tragedy that breaks our hearts, quite frankly, as parents.
Yeah, man. I'll be brief because I got a lot of thoughts, but I'll save that for another platform. I'm a parent of a 7, 5-year-old, 4-year-old, and I also have 2 nieces and nephews that go to the same school as my kids. And all I will say about that is yesterday, that could have been my kids.
Yep.
If you're watching this, but when you watch this, you may have kids. That could have been your kids. That could have been your nieces and nephews. That could have been your sisters that got murdered today or yesterday. I don't know what else to say, but something needs to change in this country, and it needs to change fast. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we doing? I mean, here we are, like, as we record 2 years today after George Floyd's passing, we have a mass execution, and let's kind of seamlessly transition into our conversation, which is definitely tinged with race, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to start with the unfortunate deal between Josh Donaldson of the New York Yankees and Tim Anderson of the Chicago White Sox. Well documented. Donaldson decides that he wants to play the Jackie Robinson card in the midst of trash talk. So let's be official about this, bro. Where do you fall on the line? Joke or diss when it comes to Josh Donaldson, saying he was joking around with his boy, Tim Anderson?
Nah, first and foremost, if you got to explain an inside joke, the joke already failed. So I don't buy the whole joke aspect of it. I think it was a diss. I think Josh Donaldson knew what he was doing. And that's some clown stuff right there. I would say another word, but I'll try to keep it PG for the kids out there. That's some clown stuff right there, man. First and foremost, Jackie Robinson isn't a butt of anybody's jokes. Like, let's just put it right there. Let's end it right there. Jackie Robinson is not the butt of any joke. Jackie Robinson is one of the most important figures in American history, not sports history, American history. You don't make a joke. You don't make a slight. You don't use Jackie Robinson as a bar. You don't. It's just that's just not what we doing. That's not what we doing. And for a white dude in 2022 to even try to pull that stunt, nah, man. I don't care. I don't care how well you thought you was cool with Tim Anderson. Clearly, y'all wasn't cool, because if Tim Anderson didn't like it the first time you did it and you do it again and then you do it a third time, clearly y'all wasn't cool. And plus, I have a lot of white friends. They know that just certain things you can't say to me as a black man, as an Afro-Latino in this country. You just know there's certain routes you can't go. So for Josh Donaldson not to have the self-awareness or the awareness to not make a joke like that, yeah, he deservedly is getting flamed by everybody, and he deserves it.
That brings us to the point. So I guess you would say it's a diss, and this is where there is no debate. It was a diss. And what happened is, to go back and use the George Floyd reference, remember we were bombarded 24 months ago about certain white people feeling guilty about having white privilege. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Josh Donaldson, the personification of white privilege.
Facts.
When you make a comment like that and then double down like it was a freaking joke, you don't joke about Jackie Robinson in the context of baseball. I mean, I got Jewish friends. I would never make a joke about Hitler and the Holocaust. I would never make a joke with Native American friends about their land being stolen from them. There are places that you just don't go. And for him to sit around with his surfer dude grin on Yes TV, trying to make amends for ignorant remark that was nothing short of disrespectful. Not only was it disrespectful to Tim Anderson. It was disrespectful to the 7.2% of the rosters that comprise Major League Baseball players who are like Jackie Robinson that are African American. It's reprehensible. And I just think that he distanced himself from his team. He distanced himself from his manager. And when you got two high-profile MLB bros like Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge, who've said nothing but crickets, that just speaks volumes to me about what's going on in that clubhouse.
And can we talk about, real quick, can we talk about Yankee fans too?
Yeah.
Hey, Yankee fans, dear Yankee fans, we all love you guys, right? You love your passion, love your intensity. You have two prominent black players on your team. You have a manager and an entire roster of the team that you are facing, of the team that you had this issue with, say that this was a racist remark and it wasn't cool. And then when you proceed on Sunday afternoon and evening to chant Jackie, come on, man. Y'all are some clowns too. And I don't care who gets pissed off for watching it. Y'all are some clowns. All of y'all.
That was ignorant. And all Tim Anderson did when he hit the 3-run jack was tell people shush. So he's winning. You guys are losers. All right, fair or foul. Major League Baseball's punishment. 1-game suspension with a paycheck that will be, in fact, as we go to record here now, fought. Donaldson clearly tone deaf. In my opinion, it's foul. And it's foul because you letting him off easy. He making $30 million. You find him a game check? Come on, man. And give him a day off? Hey, that's like, giving somebody 100 singles and sending them to Magic City in Atlanta. Game on. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Yeah. It was disrespectful. And to me, Manny, baseball had a wonderful opportunity to get out in front of this thing like the NBA did with Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, when the Bill Kennedy thing went down, the LGBTQ official, and he was caught using a disparaging F word. We didn't hear the word, but we could see in, lip space what he was saying. League got out in front of it. They said, we're not going to tolerate it. You can't use, gay in the disparaging context. They put him on blast. He had to answer for this. Josh can hide in a cave with a day off. Baseball, you screwed it up again. And there should have been something a lot more punitive. And to me, making him the face of racial sensitivity with PSAs and all that kind of stuff. Don't line your fields with Black Lives Matter in paint. Make a white guy who showed his white privilege the poster child for sensitivity by taking you through some sensitivity training, and they just struck out to me.
I think listen, I didn't really care about the punishment because what is Major League Baseball going to do? They can't judge his intent. Only Josh Donaldson knows what his intent was. So I didn't have a problem with the punishment. And you know why? But here's the reason why I don't have a problem with the punishment. Because, okay, they could suspend him 1 game, 10 games or whatever. But you know what's the worst punishment for Josh Donaldson? Having to consistently answer questions about it. Having to basically be flamed and roasted and barbecued in the public discourse and in public opinion everywhere he goes now for the rest of the season. Everybody's going to keep asking him every time he runs up against a black player, every time he says something about everything anytime he says something funny, people are going to look at him like, Josh, is this you or is you making another joke? So he's already getting all the punishment because he's got to feel the heat. He's getting flamed for this, and as he should. And so he's already getting punished. What's a suspension going to do for Josh Donaldson, who never plays, by the way? Never. How about Josh Donaldson worry about playing 145 games? That's what he should be worried about. But for Josh Donaldson that never plays, that suspending and taking a break, that actually helps him. Maybe it'll keep his body healthy for once. So I don't care about the suspension. I like the fact that he can't hide. He has to play and he has to answer it. And when he goes on the road, he has to hear it. And I hope, and that's the shame. They don't get to go to Chicago anymore for the rest of the year unless they meet in the playoffs. And I hope they meet in the playoffs because the boos and the evisceration that man will face is going to be worth the price of admission, and that's going to be greater and better than any kind of suspension that he would ever get from Major League Baseball.
I just think that it was an attempt to get it off of the public consciousness by MLB, and it's just not working because there was a Harrison Ford movie back in the day, What Lies Beneath.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah,
and we kind of seeing what lies beneath here, y'all, and got to fix it because that's not going to bring too many more people back to the ball.
True. I think Major League Baseball, and I know we'll end with this, but I think with Major League Baseball, I don't think they wanted to go full board for the gusto and suspend him because he didn't, in technical terms, say a racial slur or something. He didn't hard R, he didn't do anything like that. I think had he said something more along those lines,
the N-word.
Listen, we all know it's racial. I think had he said something a little bit more vulgar and along those lines, I think he would have faced some sort of suspension. I think Major League Baseball just like, look, let's just suspend him. He's going to have to deal with a lot more flaming just playing than what we would ever give him just by suspending him.
And what he may have done is finally galvanize a locker room. You know, you're talking about one of the more diverse locker rooms. Yep. A lot of Afro-Latinos, yep. African-American. One thing about it is you may be able to get away with certain things that you said in Atlanta or Minneapolis. It ain't going down for real like that in New York, y'all. It's just simply not. And there's no way, there's nothing good that comes of it for him. But as Pops used to tell me, I don't have to spank you, but you brought it on yourself.
Factory.
Hey, that's my man, Manny Ramirez Brown. We call him Man Ran. Love you, bro. It's your boy, the MLBbros.
Love you too, OG.
OG, Mark Gray. It's debatable for this week. God bless America, y'all.
Yes, sir.
MLBbro.com, covering black and brown major league.